Okay, don't worry about it. Hello, hello.
Say starting live.
All right, we starting live. We starting live. We live. We live. We live. We live. Okay, we live. All right, y'all. Hey, happy Sunday. Y'all know what today is, but I'm not making any food that's Easter inspired. I'm actually making some Puerto Rican rice today. I don't know if y'all cooked already, but y'all can join me for conversation and just watch me cook. And this is vegan inspired, so you know I'm vegan. I don't cook meat, so um, if it's something that you like, watch the video, try it, see if it works for you. All right, so
Hey, Keisha.
hey Keisha. We got my son on the YouTube, so I'm going back and forth because I'm streaming live on YouTube and then I'm live on Facebook. So might be a little bit of camera everywhere, but just stay with us. All right, so first to start off with, I'm not using rice. I'm using quinoa. My auntie called it quinoa, but it's quinoa if you don't know how to pronounce it. I just talked to somebody about this the other day too. If you've never seen quinoa, this is what it looks like. They're little small pieces of grain, which kind of puts you in the mind of millets if you ever seen millets. But this is what quinoa is. All right, so we got quinoa going in there. I didn't feel like chopping up vegetables today, so I bought some fresh cilantro salsa. This is all natural, no preservatives, no nothing added. It's just onions, peppers, cilantro, everything that I normally put in here, but already chopped up. All right, so instead of meat, I'm using my mushrooms. Y'all know I love my mushrooms. We got olives. Looks like it's missing some, so I think Jada's been in my bowl. Put your hands back, no begging. I got capers, which are kind of like olives, but they're not as salty. And it's a different kind of salt. It's not like regular salt from sodium or from iodine salt, but
You said it's like olive?
don't touch it. Yeah. And then we got cilantro. We got cilantro. We got tomatoes, more tomatoes. We got some beans. I used some I think these are Great Northern beans. No, they not pinto beans. Pinto beans. Yeah, those pinto beans. Sorry, I made the beans a couple days ago, 2 nights ago. But we're gonna use the rest of those and put in there. And then I got some vegetable broth. All right. So I already got my oil heated up. I'm gonna use some grapeseed oil. And like I mentioned to you all before, if you follow me when I'm cooking, grapeseed oil is the only oil that, and avocado oil are the only oils that you can actually use that doesn't change its molecules when you cook it, so it doesn't turn into a poisonous oil. Any other oils that you cook is fine. I'm sorry that you use are fine if you're just eating them without heating it. But once you add heat to it, it changes the molecules and it actually becomes poison in your body. So be careful. All right, so I got my oil already heated over here, and I'm gonna add my mushrooms first to a separate pan. As you know, I always cook my mushrooms separate because mushrooms release a lot of water, and we want to let it saute, but release the water from it. Okay, so it takes about 10 minutes, and my salsa is already it already has like a liquid in there. We want that to kind of saute and and evaporate from there as well. So um, I don't want to cook them together because that's more water that I have to wait to evaporate. All right, so while the mushrooms are sauteing, I am going to season them a bit. Then put some onion powder, maybe about a teaspoon and a half or 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and about the same garlic powder. And I am going to add just a little bit of Himalaya salt, pink salt, maybe a couple pinches. All right, and we're gonna stir that up. All right, and this is cooking at a fairly high temperature because I do want it to release the waters and then to brown just a tad bit. All right, so we're gonna let that do its thing. And in my other pan, sorry, my bad. We are gonna add the fresh cilantro, and I already have my pan coated with oil. It's just enough to coat the bottom. It's about 2 or 3 tablespoons of 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil. If I can get this open, that's why I like to have my stuff prepped already before I get online. All right, so we're gonna pour this over into our skillet. Be careful, Jada, so you don't pop back on you. All right. So we're gonna let some of this water evaporate from here. And that's gonna take about 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna increase the heat on here to medium high. The skillet is already hot, so it shouldn't take long at all. Same thing for the mushrooms. You're gonna see right now it looks pretty dry, but you'll see the water start to come out of the mushrooms, and then we have to wait until that absorbs. All right, so what y'all doing today while we waiting on that?
Somebody left a message for you.
A long message.
Richard.
You're making me hungry. Not for the rest. Oh, okay. We're gonna skip past that message because that's a little bit inappropriate. We are cooking and my children are here, so please keep your inappropriate messages about me to yourself because I don't want to block you. We're having a good time here.
Yeah, clown.
I like to know how to make Puerto Rican rice. Okay, well, Mark, welcome. I hope you're following us. We are making some Puerto Rican rice. You can sub the ingredients if you like and add chicken if you're not a vegan. I definitely don't recommend pork at all because I don't eat pork, don't consume pork, and don't really don't advise people to eat pork. So when I'm giving my ingredients, it's never with pork. But I'm definitely I'll definitely okay.
Let me reiterate, this is not the time or the place to be a goofball.
Okay,
So please keep your personal comments between you and her. You know, never let anybody outside of you and her know how you feeling, bro. You too.
Okay, that's from my son, and he's very protective. So keep your
not even just protective, man. Just be a player, man. This is her live and her cooking show. It's not the place to do that.
Right. All right. So while that's cooking, if y'all got some comments, we like to talk in the kitchen. We got some Lauryn Hill playing in the background. Y'all know about Lauryn Hill, I know.
If I go on your daughter makeup,
okay, Trey, we done with that. Let it go.
I'll be bogus.
You bogus for continuing on with this conversation. Okay, y'all. So, what y'all doing today? Anybody want
Still watching.
Huh? It's okay.
It's 5 people and I'm just trying to.
All right, y'all. Give me some comments. What y'all doing? Anybody like Puerto Rican rice? And how do you pronounce it in Spanish? It's
Puerto Rico rice.
Azaro. I think it's called azaro. Azaro.
Churro.
My tongue doesn't roll very well, but arroz. That's how you pronounce it.
Corona.
Anyway. What y'all cook today? Come on, give me some feedback. What y'all cooking? What y'all doing? What you watching?
This vegan meal will cure you and will prevent coronavirus.
Huh? That's your comment, Trey.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll prevent coronavirus, but if you're vegan and you eat healthy, it definitely will.
I know the components of the meal. I know what's in the meal. I know what's in the ingredients, and I know and can tell you for a fact that this will help you. You know, your body fight off the coronavirus.
And we ain't sick over here. We're not sick over here. We eating healthy.
Mainly because
I've been working out.
But they eat.
Okay, that's nobody's business, Trey. Okay.
Remember we just said content and respect.
What you mean? Weed is just a herb, just as much a herb as cilantro or some celery.
So talk about it to mom's audience. Do you think mom's audience care that you do that?
forget if they care or not. I'm trying to help them prevent coronavirus. So if I gotta, get them some extra information on how they can cure themselves, I'll do that.
All right, y'all.
That's the purpose of the live, anyway.
Blessings looking good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nice holidays. Beautiful. Blessings. Beautiful.
I'm gonna turn this salsa up just a little bit more because I want this to sear just a little bit. So I'm trying to absorb some of this liquid from there.
Just start boiling immediately.
Yep, there it goes. Very good. You gotta watch people cooking with you too, because you see he just turned my fire up.
I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, but but I don't know that you turned it up, and I may be doing something else. So just hold the camera, baby. All right. So as you can see, our mushrooms are releasing some of the water.
We making Puerto Rican rice.
What's the comment?
He said, "Are you Puerto Rican?"
I'm not Puerto Rican, but I love Puerto Rican rice.
We Puerto Rican today.
I used to have a friend that I worked with. Her name was Priscilla, and I used to beg her to bring me some rice to work. So whenever we had potlucks or anything like that, she already knew she was bringing some rice. And at that time, I was a vegan, so I was eating chicken. But I always loved it, and then I just decided to make my own because I cook better than anybody that I know. So.
Facts.
I can go ahead. I love making. It's actually fun for me to make vegan inspired meals, so it hasn't been a challenge for me. A lot of people don't go vegan because they don't know. Huh?
Moses Iverson.
Hey, Mom.
Your friend.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, that's my friend from Columbus.
Your bestie.
Ain't this a
One of
blessed
my
Easter? We got Moses in the house.
from Columbus. Moses always looked out for us. He's good people. All right.
Ooh, Haley in here.
Hey, Haley. Oh, she loves to watch us cook. Hey, Haley.
Who is Haley?
Haley that used to live behind us in Gahanna.
Yeah.
You know Haley. What's her brother name? I forgot. I always forget his name.
Tyler.
Tyler.
They used to live
Yeah.
behind us.
Tyler.
Like,
Hannah.
crazy. Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Our mushrooms we're gonna let it cook for another maybe 2 or 3 minutes because we're still releasing oils from here. And I'm just gonna taste one of them just to make sure that my seasoning is up to par.
Oh, Haley, that Haley. Oh yeah, what's up?
Late.
I'm trying to think. I don't know too many Haleys.
That's on point. That's on point, y'all. But all the
that was my
most
man.
of the things that I'm cooking with are already seasoned. Onions, bell peppers, I put that shit on everything. But
tell Haley and myself.
Trey, can you chill out, please? You said hi already. We heard you. Okay.
Moses said, "I know y'all want to jump on one of these flights somewhere."
Yes, you already know, Moses. You know how we do. We stuck in the house, so we just gonna cook and be happy.
We're gonna pretend we in Puerto Rico.
All right, so my salsa has
He said, "So you took the mussels out of the shell."
the who? Oh no, these are mushrooms. These are
not
mussels like the seafood. This is actually just mushrooms. Mushrooms.
Them do look like
all right.
oysters,
Yeah.
All right, so this is how I wanted my salsa. We got it a nice little simmer. So the onions and the bell peppers are seasoned real good. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my beans to this mixture now. The beans are already cooked, and this is about 2 cups of pinto beans. 2 cups of pinto beans. And they were cooked in like an onion soup mix, so they're nice and flavorful already. All right. And then I'm going to add.
I'm about to follow this recipe for my quarantine date tonight. Quarantine date?
Yes. All right. That's what's up.
Is that safe?
Yeah, as soon as they come to the door, you spray them down, give them some alternate clothes, some booties. Yeah.
All right, so this is the quinoa. Normally, if you're cooking with rice, you can add your rice at this time. I got about 2 cups of quinoa that I'm putting in. And quinoa is just a healthier option than adding the rice. Okay, and I'm also using sofrito. Sofrito is green peppers, onions, cilantro, garlic, and olive oil. This is a really, really good flavoring as well. So because I'm adding all these things, you do not need to add salt to your meal. It comes out so flavorful. I'm gonna add about three tablespoons, 3 big tablespoons of sofrito. Maybe a little bit more. 4.
3.
All right. And I'm just gonna stir my mushrooms up just a tad bit more. All right, we're gonna add our capers. And I already drained the capers, so I'm not using the water or the juices that was in the olives or the capers.
Capers.
It's like I said, I'm not.
How do you spell it?
CAPER. All right, and then we're gonna add. I have about a bundle and a half of cilantro here, so I'm gonna add about half of that in there. Even though we already have cilantro in the salsa, I love cilantro, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. And then I'm gonna save the rest, and I'm gonna top it off once it's almost done with the rest of the cilantro.
It smells like Puerto Rican rice now.
All right, and now I'm gonna add my mushrooms, which are nice and seared.
A who?
Rice goulash.
Whatever that is.
When you put a lot of spice into jambalaya.
All right,
I mean, you say jambalaya.
It was not Cajun, so we're gonna say jambalaya.
It's jambalaya.
Because we have 2 cups of quinoa in here, we're gonna add 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm sorry, not chicken broth, vegetable broth. And you don't have to use broth. You can just use water if you like, but I like to use vegetable broth because it gives it a nice flavor in addition to everything that's already in there. And do not stir a lot because that's what makes your quinoa or your rice really sticky or kind of mushy. So I only stir once. Once I add everything in there, then I stir it around and then you just let it cook. You do not need to go back and forth stirring. It's unnecessary. So this is perfect. This is just the way it's supposed to be. Once it's halfway done, or maybe after about 15 minutes of sauteing, I'm going to go in and add the other tomatoes that I have. I don't want to add them right now because I don't want them to be really, really mushy. I want it to have some kind of texture to it. So that is perfect, and that is all we need right now. So we're going to put a top on that. We're going to turn it down to medium low so it'll just simmer. We don't want it to actually boil or burn at the bottom. All right, and then we're going to put a timer on. We're going to do let's do the 20 minutes. Let's do 15 minutes, and then I'll go back in and add my tomatoes and then let that simmer.
Is that Puerto Rican jambalaya?
It's whatever you want to call it, baby. It's a different seasoning from jambalaya, right? Yes. It's not the same.
It's Jambalaya. New Orleans, Louisiana influence rice. This is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, jambalaya is Louisiana cuisine, but this has
wait, y'all. I'm so sorry. I forgot one very, very, very important ingredient. The Saison. Saison is really, really, really good.
Saison is Spanish?
Saison is a Spanish seasoning, yes. Saison. And it's the bomb. So don't forget this step. I don't know how I forgot that. But add the Saison, and you got a really, really, really good flavor.
What flavor is that?
Chicken flavor.
It's not chicken flavor. I'm not exactly sure what's in. You can make it. You can mix the seasonings yourself. I'm not exactly sure, but this is the easy way. It doesn't have instructions on this. I mean, ingredients on there. It's probably on the box. But it's really, really good. You can add that to your fishes. You can add it to chicken, soups, anything that you cook with. It's actually really, really good.
So this day with cilantro and artichoke. No, I'm glad.
I don't think that's what's in there.
That's what you say.
All right, and that gives it a really, really kind of pinkish or orangish color too. So when you see the Puerto Rican rice that's orange or kind of pink, that's where it's getting the color from. All right, so we're gonna let that cook down, and we'll come back to you in just a little bit. All right, so anybody want to tell me what they eating yet? Nobody's talking about it. What's the ingredients? I'm not exactly sure, but let me see. Actually, hold on. The ingredients in the saison is
a little magic in a little foil packet.
It's salt, garlic, cumin, and that's it.
And cocaine.
Heavy on the coke.
Yeah, and coriander. I'm sorry, and coriander. It's so small over here, you can't see it, but that's what's in there. All right, and it's really good. You'll love it.
All right. What does it say on the back? It says just cook the way you always cook. The same recipe, the same seasoning, changing nothing except.
All right, so
blank for people.
Jada, let me see. I'm sorry, y'all. Salt, garlic, cumin, and coriander. Yes. That's what's inside. That's a lot of rice goosh. I don't know what you mean by that, Terry. There's no rice in there. That's quinoa.
Terry.
Who said that? I'm hungry right now. Oh, Haley. Every time she gets on making the food, I get so hungry. Yes, make it with me. I'm so sorry I didn't post it ahead of time. Normally, I try to put the ingredients online ahead of time, like Thursday, so that you can get the ingredients and cook with me. But I was actually going to make something else. I was going to make Alfredo today, but when I went to the grocery store, of course, everyone's bought everything out because of the Easter holiday. So I couldn't find my vegan cheese. I couldn't find the vegan yogurt, so I just scratched that whole recipe. So we got our rice going on today. All right, so hope you enjoy that. If you're cooking with it, you don't have to do it today. You can always come back to it, cook it another time. Why are you doing that, James?
Smell it.
I don't want to smell it.
Oh,
Jesus. Right. All right, so actually what I'm going to do, we're going to do 2 parts to this video. I'm going to end it now and come back in about 15 minutes when I add my tomatoes and the rest of my cilantro to the dish. You got to do ribs soon. No, we don't do ribs. No.
Ooh, I love ribs.
Nope. No pork on my fork. No pork on hers either, unless she goes somewhere else.
No pork on my fork.
I love rib tips.
I made ribs probably since she was a little kid.
Pork on my fork.
Girl, we have some ribs.
We'll come back to y'all in about 15 minutes.
We had some ribs from City Barbecue.
Shitty BBQ.
How long ago was that?
City BBQ.
Ew. When's the last time we had City Barbecue?